So my name is Selma, and after my studies, I actually started working at Albert Heijn, in a big supermarket in the Netherlands. But okay, so this was me a couple of years ago, because after my studies, I started working at Ahold as a management trainee. And in my first year, I worked at the sustainability department, where I really got confronted with the numbers on food waste. But the second year, I worked in the supermarket store, and then I also was confronted with bread that I couldn't sell during that day, or fruits and vegetables with a little stain that customers wouldn't buy. So I got actually very interested in this topic, and then I got really interested in it, and I also got a bit sad because I found out that by 2050 we need to feed 9 billion people, and we are currently throwing away 1/3 of all the food that we produce in the world. Yeah, I was very shocked to hear about this, because also if you consider that 1/6 of the world's energy production and all the resources we use is going to food, the fact that we then throw away 1/3 of that, was very shocking to me. So people also ask me very often, okay, we throw it away, but what does it matter? Well, for the production of food, we use a lot of water, we use a lot of energy, a lot of transport is used to go from A to B with all the food, and also it produces a lot of CO2. So in the end, if you consider the fact that we have to live here for a very long time, we should think about how we use our resources. And me and some colleagues, we came up with a really nice plan to start a pop-up restaurant in Amsterdam. So we pitched a plan at Albert Heijn, and we said we want to cook something with the products that we can't sell in the stores, and we want to give people a great night out. So we came up with the idea to start a pop-up place. So this is in Amsterdam. This is already like 2.5 years ago. And every day we would go with an electrical van to a couple of supermarkets. We would pick up some food, and at night we would cook. And currently we already have 3 restaurants. So we have one in Amsterdam, we have one in The Hague next to Parliament, one in Utrecht on the Vleutenseweg, and a food truck. So a lot of people are asking, so how is this working? Because food waste, if the food is not sold at the end of the day, how can you cook with it? Well, apparently a lot of food that we are now throwing away is still actually thrown away before the expiration date. If you look at bread, it has a packaging date, but it's still even if you're at home, you can eat it the next day. Or for example, fruits and vegetables, they don't even have a date on it if you look at a cauliflower. But of course, with fruits, vegetables and bread, you cannot make meals. So we also got connected to a lot of food producers, meat producers, fish producers. And in the Netherlands, they always work on the basis of forecasting. So by the time they see that stores are already full, they don't actually send more fruit from the production sites to these stores, and we collect our food over there. And as you can see, we recollect it. We sort all the food by its quality, and then our food rescue driver brings it back to the restaurant, where our chef tries to make the most fancy-looking dishes. And I say fancy because it's very important for us that food waste is not associated with poor people or with food banks, because it's actually an issue that we have to solve together, and everybody should be willing to eat food surplus, basically. So our chef, who is from Australia, every single day they come up with a very inspiring new menu. So at Instock, we always serve what we call the harvest of the day. And it's either a 3-course menu or a 4-course menu, where we really try to put the best haute cuisine type of dishes on the menu, but also for very cheap. So you eat for 22.50 3 courses, or for 27.50 you eat 4 courses. And obviously people want to have a drink. I mean, apart from food, it's also very interesting to see how you can collect food surplus in terms of drinks. We managed to find beer with Heineken. Even beer suppliers, producers, they have to sell everything within a 3-month expiration date before for all the restaurants and cafes. So we get our beer from Heineken. But then we were like, everybody wants specialty brews and stuff. So we got connected to a few people in Brussels who make a beer made of old bread. And we were so impressed with it that we thought, hey, maybe we can also do something like that. And then we came up with Pieper beer. Pieper beer is a really nice pale ale beer. We use surplus potatoes in it, and it goes very nice with your meals. But then if you look at the numbers, it's not only the retail or the producers or farmers who are throwing away a lot of food. It's also us as consumers. Every time when we cook, we sometimes make too much, we throw away half. And that's why we thought, can we not collect all the knowledge of our chefs, all the experience that they have gathered over the last 2.5 years, and basically share it with our guests. So they came up with we came up with a book, Instock Cooking, and our chef Lucas, he wrote it. And it's really about the techniques such as drying, pickling, freezing, things that we might have already forgotten that knowledge. But in this book, you can really easily see what you can do with like half a cucumber that you couldn't use in your meal. And that's also really something that we want to do to inspire other people to join us in our mission. Because so far in our restaurants, we have saved over 200,000 kilos of food. But that is really just the beginning if you consider how much food we throw away in the world. So we hope that everybody feels inspired to do the same at home. And for our own future plans, we are not expanding with our own restaurants. I can tell you this because it's a lot of work. But what we do want is that other restaurants and other catering companies are going to work with surplus as well. So our strategy is more focusing on wholesale. And so we hope that everybody will follow us. And if you're ever considering to start a restaurant or something, then please do reach out to us. Thank you very much for your attention.